Don't get me wrong.
That in order for me to be a man, I got to know how to support a woman. Something is wrong with brothers who don't know how to support a sister. It was a sister that raised you. It was a sister that taught you how to read. It was a sister that taught you how to bathe yourself. It was a sister that raised you when other people were not around. It takes a real man to support a real woman, and I'm so glad I got some real men in this building who are not intimidated by educated women, are not intimidated by articulate women, who are not intimidated by women who are anointed to lead.
This is why strong black men are not in church. Bro, this man supports a party who wants to unalive babies. Some of these pastors are clowns. Facts. And you might be asking, why am I showing you this pastor? Very simple. Kamala Harris went to this pastor's church, bada bing, bada boom, bam, bam, after she came from a rally when she told a bunch of people screaming in the back, Jesus is Lord. Jesus is Lord.
Oh, you guys are at the wrong rally.
I'm like, what? You just look at a bunch of people, you might have not heard what they said. They look like right-wingers. Send them to the right-wingers and you send them out. What the heck? Or you might have heard it and you just thought, it's kind of cool. Jesus is Lord. Hey, get out. I need to vote for the non-believers in my party. What are you talking about? Believers in your party was disgusted. They gave her the black happy birthday. What about the Indian happy birthday?
Traitor! It's our moment. Your unborn great-grandchildren are going to ask you, what were you doing?
Which unborn children? The ones that survive unaliving themselves? Really? What are you talking about? With a mobile truck that survived? We don't give ice cream. You ready? What the heck is that? How can you be a pastor saying that? What about your kids? She is talking consistently about unaliving people.
Economy, some people talk about economy, they talk about the border, some people talk about abortion. You think abortion will be your number one?
That's her main message. If it doesn't work, I have one eye and I see this and you don't. And for the people that don't know, you do know that we unalive so many kids that if we didn't, we might have actually a population, it might even maybe greater than white people. That's why Margaret Sanger created Planned Parenthood to control it, that actually went to the Ku Klux Klans and be like, I support you. All we have to do is convince them to do the thing we love as something good. And it worked.
I am truly honored to be in the presence of so many extraordinary leaders, including my pastor, Reverend Dr. Amos C. Brown of Third Baptist Church in San Francisco.
Hey Kamala, remember to tell your pastor that you escorted a bunch of Christians outside of your rally because they screamed Jesus is Lord. Maybe the pastor would say, hey, don't worry about it. Those are white Christians. Remember to subscribe.
And whose wisdom, Dr. Brown, has guided me and just been a source of comfort and solace for me.
Can you trust a person that says, I love you? No, it doesn't work.
Just been a source of comfort and solace.
It's just a specific observation I've made. And I'm sure she believes in Christianity, and I'm sure that a few months ago she still was going to church.
So all of this is to say it is so good to be here with everyone today and to worship with you. And on this day, then I am reminded with everything that we reflect on the parable from the Gospel of Luke.
Yeah, it seems that Kamala has receipts. Maybe a handler told her, hey, use this gangster quote. It's going to pander to the way they believe because you can twist it and talk about one of your policies so they actually think you're a Christian.
So
that is the smile that, yeah, I smoke weed too. Yeah, I'm like one of you. Then again, I did lock a bunch of you in prison. But hey, man, you don't know about that, how I got into power, because that's not important. It's very interesting when somebody that doesn't read the Bible wants to try to convince you they read the Bible. They act like kids. I've read it.
Of a man who traveled from the road from Jerusalem to Jericho. And while traveling, he was attacked by robbers. We remember he was beaten. He was bloodied. They left him for dead. He was someone that should just be passed on by, maybe with a...
It's just a theme for her, and she has a very good delivery. Because the devil can use a Christian to get you out of a church or keep you in the wrong church. Don't hate the game, don't hate the player, just pray to Jesus and then you know if they're playing a game with your feelings.
Glance of pity, but not more. So one person passed by, sees the man lying in his path, and walks around him, not wanting to be bothered or obstructed on the path that he decided to walk. A second man does the same. But then a Samaritan walks by. He sees the man and he stops. The Samaritan bandages the stranger's wounds. He brings him to an inn, gives him shelter and a hot meal, and he saves the man's life. This parable, the parable of the Good Samaritan, teaches us to love thy neighbor as thyself. These words are simple. We know them well.
Do you?
Essential tenet and a pillar of our faith, and that of so many others.
Just because I'm black, I represent your Christianity. Well, I'm unaliving baby because I used to say that to get all the women's vote. That's why I went to a church with a bunch of women where a pastor says,
Our moment. Your unborn great-grandchildren are going to ask you, what were you doing?
think about the unborn children of a lady. Oh my God. How?
I'll tell you another thing I sure as shit am not afraid of. Women.
I'm not afraid of women.
I'm not afraid of women.
They want to control their bodies? I say go for it.
And I'm already ranting, and I totally forgot she said,
And that of so many others.
what others? If I'm a good Christian, I don't care about your other religions. That's like I'm a fireman and I say, oh my God, the building is burning. Help the people and the kids. What do you mean help the people and the kids? Why did you separate it? So the fact that you say that is because she is pandering to everybody, because she wants to send a message. She wants to use this platform to convince the other people that she also cares about them. She is wearing a suit, addressing a public.
However, one must ask, are all people of faith living those words?
I mean, you're not. Let's go to 1 Timothy 5:8. Anyone who does not provide for their relatives, especially for their own household, has denied the faith and is worse than an unbeliever.
Did not see that coming.
So the question then becomes this: if the Good Samaritan is going to help the person on the floor but he doesn't take care of their household, are they doing the right thing? Helping somebody that God sees as worse as an unbeliever? God doesn't neglect me, I neglect myself. But if I give everything to another person, God gives me a specific feeling so I can feel good about myself. Not this government. They're just like, hey, be happy, you're helping. So to me, they're not caring about their neighbors. They're caring about their votes. Because you're not giving them something just because you want to give them something. You're giving them something because they're going to vote for you. If you tell the government, give me something so I'm happy without me voting for you. And the majority of legal immigrants vote Democrat because they get the things for free. And that's why they send them to swing state, not to Democratic city. No, they send it to states that are usually Republicans because they want to swing the ID.
Communism forever.
Are all people of faith expressing those words in their actions? Do we have leaders in place who understand that in the face of a stranger, one should see a neighbor?
Which neighbor are you talking about? The neighbor in the belly of a woman?
And I'll tell you, I grew up in a church that took those words to heart. As a little girl on Sundays, my sister Maya and I would go to 23rd Avenue Church of God in Oakland, California.
I can believe that you might have went to a church sometimes, but your mother is a Hindu and your father is a Marxist. And Marxists do not like Christians.
I hate you.
Mama, I know you're Hindu, but now I feel more like a black person, so I'm going to stand on the podium denying your Hindu part, being black suddenly. I don't know, man. There's something about the inconsistency that makes me believe if you can do that, why would I even trust you in the government when you promise me something? Oh yeah, you where the borders are.
We sang in the children's choir, we attended Sunday school, and where after church we would go to the basement and eat a food prepared by loving hands. And where I first learned the teachings of the Bible, and my earliest memories of those teachings are about a loving God. A God who asks us to speak up for those who cannot speak for themselves, and to defend the rights of the poor and the needy.
And the unborn children and the children. Children are a reward. Psalm 127:3-4. Children are a heritage from the Lord, offspring are reward from him, like arrows in the hand of a warrior are children born in one's youth. And what about if you heard them? Matthew 18:6. If anyone cause one of these little ones, those who believe in me, to stumble, it would be better for them to have a large millstone hung around their neck and be drowned in the depth of a sea. How can you still talk about unaliving kids? Oh, because you think it's a clump of cells.
3 unwanted pregnancies, and I was told when I was in the 6th grade that abortion was a woman's right and it was a solution to this problem, and I was lied to. Before my 3 abortions, they would never let me look at the screen. They told me it was just a clump of cells, sac of tissue, but I even suffered as a worker in the back. I was even deceived and lied to when I was given the job. I seriously did not know I was going to look for baby body parts.
My heart got destroyed when I was being a progressive Christian, saying that till 3 months it's not a baby, and at 1 month and a few weeks I heard the heartbeat. Instead of being happy, it was like somebody stabbed me. It was bad. You know when you hear something, you do a rewind in your brain? I remember all the people I told, it's till 3 months, it's okay. It was not a happy moment for me. That is the moment something clicked in my brain and made me realize, yo man, this whole ID metrosexual direction that you're going, that you're so advanced compared to the other people, I don't think it's the right path.
And for me, like for so many of us, church is then a place of growth and belonging and community, a place where we are.
But the person that says is, I don't think it's the right way, especially when you say you care about the people, but you don't really care about the black people. You actually told them to vote for you, and guess what? You're helping other people.
Reminded of the incredible power of faith and fellowship. And in moments of difficulty and uncertainty, when the way is not clear, it is our faith that then guides us forward.
Man, we are deep in your sermon. We haven't heard you mention God or the Bible.
How can you be so passionate as a Christian? You didn't even mention Jesus or God. You actually used a quote without using the verse in the beginning. And you went to a black church. Kiss. Help me. I was okay. Woo.
Faith in what we often cannot see, but we know to be true.
Satan?
And I say that because in this moment, across our nation, what we do see are some who tried to deepen division among us, spread hate, sow fear, and cause chaos.
Are you sure about that? Matthew 10:34-36. Do not think I have come to bring peace to earth. I have not come to bring peace but a sword. For I have come to set a man against his father, and a daughter against her mother, and a daughter-in-law against his mother-in-law. And a person's enemy will be those of his own household. He's not going to chop you up, but the way that you think, a lot of people would challenge you because they want your way of peace and consistency, because it seems to bless you more than them. But you think that Jesus like, hey, everybody just be happy, do whatever you want, everybody. Jesus wasn't part of the NSYNC band. What are you talking about? Sure, we need to help each other, but we need to have a specific consistency so we can help each other correctly. And I don't think she represents that consistency.
Those who suggest that the measure of the strength of a leader is based on who you beat down, instead of what we know, which is the true measure of the strength of a leader, is based on who you lift up.
How you lift them up? You are gaining power by talking about crushing people in the belly, to be specific.
And this moment in our nation must be about looking inward and being guided by our faith.
You mentioned so many. Which of them? All of them? All the other countries that have a faith that you can bring over to give them a better treatment than the people that you tax way more? But for some odd reason, you have created an economy that nobody wants to make any babies, but the other ones do want to make a baby because they don't have self-control, because it's so normal in their culture. And once they make too many babies and they cannot pay it, hey, we need to give them more of your money because you don't make baby. I'm like, bro, come on. The policy have so many loopholes that I'm like, I can't understand how you think this would work long term.
What brings hope and what is truly the best expression of our strength in the way that we reach out to each other with kindness and with love and with sincerity in that approach.
The reason this is there is because the policies that she's advocating right now is affecting the black people the most. I don't have any problem with immigrations, But the thing is, it's also normal that if you come to a country, you need to be able to support yourself, or you have a family that can help you. The whole idea that you just come there and we need to help you because it's your human right. If that was true, then I would go wherever I want because I'm not responsible for anything that I do. I don't think that's healthy for any community.
Don't get me wrong, makosa kita bong. Put the fire na mi blonde, kush, hash, purple, skunk, criollo, colombici, jam, jam, turloqueta, verdeta, welcome.